Hello and welcome to AI English Academy, the place where learning English becomes smarter, easier, and more enjoyable. I'm your host, Mr. Samuel, and in this podcast, we combine the power of modern AI with clear, simple English lessons to help you improve your skills every single day. Let's go together.
Welcome to Language Lab. I'm your host, Leo Chen, and today we're diving into a topic that hits very close to home for me, and I bet for many of you too. Daily conversation essentials, learning to speak naturally in English. As an international university student, I often find myself translating in my head, sometimes missing the flow of a casual chat. And frankly, my English can sound a bit textbookish. I often struggle with idiomatic expressions and the natural rhythm of everyday speech, even though I know the words. So, I am absolutely thrilled to welcome our guest today, Maria Rodriguez. Maria is a seasoned language coach renowned for her engaging methods in teaching conversational fluency. She helps students like me overcome hesitations and speak with authentic confidence and natural intonation. Maria, thank you so much for joining us. Leo, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. And what you just described is such a common experience for language learners. That gap between knowing the grammar and vocabulary and actually using it naturally in a real conversation can feel huge. But the good news is, it's a gap that can absolutely be bridged with the right strategies and a bit of practice. That's so reassuring to hear. So let's jump right into it. When I'm talking with friends, they might say something like, "Oh, it's a piece of cake," or "Let's catch up later." My brain goes into overdrive trying to understand the literal meaning, and I miss the flow. How do we start to understand and use these kinds of expressions more naturally?
Excellent question, Leo. That brings us to our first essential. Think in chunks of language, not just individual words. Idioms like a piece of cake or phrasal verbs like catch up are learned as single units of meaning. You wouldn't translate a piece of cake word for word, would you? You learn it means something very easy. So instead of memorizing long lists of isolated words, start noticing and learning common phrases, expressions, and collocations, words that naturally go together, like make a decision or have a good time.
Okay, chunks of language. That makes so much sense. So if I hear, "How's it going?" I should just understand it as, "How are you?" rather than breaking it down word by word. Exactly. You've got it. Now, another aspect you mentioned was the rhythm of casual speech. This is where intonation and stress come into play. Native speakers don't speak in a monotone. There's a melody to English. My second tip is listen actively and try to mimic the music of English. When you're watching a show or listening to a podcast, don't just focus on the words. Pay attention to where the voice rises and falls, where speakers pause, and which words they emphasize. A powerful technique is shadowing. Play a short audio clip and then immediately try to repeat it, matching the speed, intonation, and rhythm as closely as you can. It's like being a linguistic parrot, a very smart one. Shadowing, that sounds like a great exercise. I can imagine it helping with the flow and sounding less robotic. What about those little words, the ahs, knows, that native speakers use? When I try to use them, they feel so forced. Ah, the conversational grease. Those are incredibly important for sounding natural and buying yourself thinking time. My third tip is Integrate common discourse markers and fillers naturally. Don't try to force them all at once. Start with a few that feel comfortable for you, like, well, so, I mean, or you know. Listen to how and when native speakers use them. They're not just random sounds. They serve a purpose to connect ideas, introduce a thought, or check for understanding. For instance, instead of a long, awkward silence while you think, you can say, well, I was going to say, or it's like, a bit complicated. That's super helpful. I'll definitely try to be mindful of those. It seems like a lot of this boils down to being brave enough to actually try these things in real conversations, even if I might make mistakes. Precisely, Leo, which leads to my final and perhaps most crucial essential. Embrace imperfection and seek out real-world practice. You will make mistakes, and that is absolutely fine. Every mistake is a learning opportunity. Don't wait until you feel perfect to speak. Look for opportunities. Language exchange partners, conversation groups, even initiating small talks in everyday situations, like at the coffee shop or university. The goal isn't to eliminate your accent or become a native speaker overnight. It's to communicate effectively and with confidence, allowing your personality to shine through. Maria, this has been an incredibly insightful and encouraging conversation. Learning to think in chunks, mimicking intonation, using those conversational fillers, and most importantly, embracing practice and imperfection, these are all such tangible steps I can start taking today. I feel so much more equipped to move beyond my textbook English and truly speak more naturally. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. My absolute pleasure, Leo. Keep practicing, keep listening, and most importantly, keep enjoying the process. You're well on your way to truly mastering natural English conversation. Fantastic. And to all our listeners out there, thank you for tuning into Language Lab. We hope these tips help you speak more naturally in your daily English conversations. Join us next time for more insights. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of iEnglish Academy. We hope you enjoyed the conversation and learned something new that brings you one step closer to confidence in English. Please subscribe, like, share for more video learning.